name's Larry Burns. I am a 30-year-plus marketing research person. Grew up completely in the CPG world. Trained at General Foods when it was General Foods, all those good kinds of things. And one of the things we're here to talk about today is Xyte. And there's a lot of reasons to tell you about why I'm excited about it, no pun intended. But the one thing that really kind of crystallized for me what Xyte is about and how it can explain the unexplainable is, and we'll talk a little bit later about we'll talk about exactly what Xyte is, but one of the things that it helped me understand, which I found fascinating, is how come Google it became a verb? How did we end up with a situation where that is the accepted world? Well, one of the things we did in some of the case study work, we've done some work to try to define how people use different search engines. And it was fascinating because Google versus Yahoo, two very popular search engines when we did the study. This is pre-Bing. It was very clear there was a definitive difference in terms of the kinds of people who used Yahoo and the kinds of people who used Google. Well, guess what? There's something called the word row, and that's one of the rows that is described by the Xyte profiling. And that is where all of us who are in the media, marketing, advertising kinds of spaces live. We're very verbal people. We talk a lot. Many of us like to tell stories. And we kind of control the messaging that goes out into the marketplace. So why is it Google it instead of Yahoo it? It's Google it because that's what we, in the confines of the advertising, marketing, media industry, use. Much more likely to use that search engine than Yahoo. And I had never understood how that came to be. Why did that happen? And Xyte, as part of the comprehension you can get by understanding people, and that's the thing about Xyte, it starts with the person. It starts with the human. It doesn't start with a segmentation or a category or anything else. You begin to understand why people make the decisions that they make, and clearly Google it as a verb was not conscious. That's because what we who are in this verbal row use as our search engine, of course everybody must use it, so it naturally became a verb, which to me is one of those mystifying things that's out there that Xyte can help expose. Why is it like that? And it gives you kind of the why underlying a lot of the behavior that people have in a way that I have never seen before. I've been doing this for 30 years, lived through all kinds of segmentations, and that's the other part about this. I am in hundreds of segmentations. You can segment me on the basis of what I do with my kids. You can segment me on how I work in the financial world. You can segment me on the car I drive, the food I eat, the places I go, what I do for relaxation, etc. But in spite of all that, there's only one me. Underlying this is the nature of who I am as a human. So who I am as a human, it's a combination of nature and nurture, right? How I was brought up, my experiences, that all contributes greatly to who I am, but there's also this other piece, which is how I'm wired, physiologically, the way in which I take data in, and the way in which I experience the world is defined to a large degree by how my senses work, right? Therefore, with this tool, I begin to understand not only the nature of things, but also I begin to really understand who I am as a person. By the way, I fought against this. I said, you can't define us. We defy definition. But the more we got into what the model is all about and how this works, and it's based on behavioral models, it's really there. It's really something that defines us as people and as humans that kind of underlies all of the other segmentations that have built over the years, ones that people have built over the years. And the nice thing about Xyte as well is it doesn't require us to throw out all the learning that someone has as it relates to the category that they participate in. The folks at General Motors or at Chrysler or whomever, they know a heck of a lot about the car category and the segmentations and what happens. But to really understand why people make the choice they make, it's really effective to understand a little bit more about how people receive information and perceive the messaging that is coming at them. And if we, through the use of the Xyte Xyte profiles, excuse me, can present back to agencies, creatives, brand folks, a better understanding of the best way to have a conversation with a potential prospect or customer in a way that makes it most likely for them to be receptive to the message. Everybody wins.